Great leaders know they aren't in charge. They are responsible for those in their charge. At the end of the day, great leaders aren't responsible for the job. They are responsible for the people who are responsible for the job. They aren't even responsible for the results. Some pretty interesting claims espoused in a TED Talk Simon Sinek delivered in 2017 I watched the other day. Hi, I'm Mark Carriere, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about some of the ideas Sinek shared in his talk relating to how great leaders develop and display empathy to earn the trust of the people they are responsible for. Sinek has always been fascinated by inspiring leaders, companies, and politicians who have made an impact in the world. And, you know, he's an infographer by training and an adjunct of the RAND Corporation. He writes and comments regularly for major publications and teaches graduate-level strategic communications at Columbia University, and has discovered and shares some remarkable patterns in how these inspiring people think, act, and communicate in 3 highly successful books that he's written. In the TED Talk, one of the points he made was that much of the management style today is based on popular management styles developed in the late 70s that were, made popular in the 80s and 90s and have become accepted mainstream practice today, but are, he claims, hopelessly outdated. He believes much of the thinking behind these management ideas that many people follow are focused solely on the bottom line results to satisfy artificially established quarterly and annual profits to appease a company's shareholders. Of course, there's nothing wrong with achieving sustained growth. However, he believes the way these aims are being driven are outdated in a way a company's managers communicate with its employees. He talks about how many people are made managers because they are highly skilled in doing the job that the people in their charge are doing. However, these managers aren't being trained in how to become effective leaders, which involves a transition from being responsible for the job to being responsible for the people doing the job. He gives a good example that illustrates his point by telling the story of his stay at the Four Seasons Hotel in Las Vegas, where he came across a barista named Noah in the cafe, or the lobby cafe. Noah was really engaging and provided such wonderful customer service that Sinek actually tipped Noah the cost of his coffee. In effect, paying twice as much for his coffee just because of the experience. And he asked Noah if he liked his job, and immediately noticed that he loved his job. When Sinek asked him why, Noah said because he loved working there, because it was such a great place to work. And unprompted, went on to say that every time a manager walked by, they always asked him if he needed anything to make his job easier. And not just his manager. He said, all the managers did this. And Noah went on to say that he also worked at Caesar's Palace, where he felt that all the managers were, there were just trying to make sure everybody were doing things right. So most of the time they were looking to find somebody doing something wrong. And he had to keep his head down and, to stay off the radar so he could just collect his paycheck. That story really highlighted the differences between being responsible for the job people are doing and being responsible for the people actually doing the job. Certainly a good leader needs to be highly competent in the work those people they are responsible for do. So, they can train and coach them to be highly competent in the job. But, more importantly, and to get the absolute best out of the people they are responsible for, they need to nurture people like Noah to deliver outstanding service, to be responsible for the people who are doing the job. What that involves is learning to not only develop empathy for the people they are responsible for, but more importantly, displaying empathy with the people they are responsible for. An example Sinek used to illustrate this was one that really hit home to me and made me think of all the times I've been guilty of not displaying this type of empathy. Imagine you have a team member who hasn't been meeting their KPIs for a month or so, and what a manager would do is call them into their office for a chat and say something like, "Look, you haven't been hitting your numbers, and you've got to turn that around pretty quickly. Otherwise, I'm not so sure what the future is going to look like for you here. So you need to pull your finger at it and get, and start reaching your KPIs, okay?" Now, if you were on the receiving end of this little chat, how would you feel about yourself? How would you feel about your manager in the company? And, how excited would you be about coming in tomorrow? How a real leader would have this conversation, they start off by saying, "Hey, Mark, I wanted to talk to you because I've noticed lately that you haven't really been hitting your KPIs. And, is everything okay with you? Are things good at home? Can I help you with anything?" Every leader is also a good manager and highly competent, in the work the people they are responsible for do, and would have trained their team members in their jobs really well. And a leader also understands there can be many different reasons why people aren't performing to their best. There could be things going on in the workplace that are stopping them from giving their best. Quite often there are things going on outside the workplace that are affecting them and distracting them from giving their best. Sometimes all it might take is just, to be there and to listen to them and understand what's going on and sympathize with them. Or it might involve taking action to clear a roadblock of some kind, or providing more coaching and training to help them get more confidence and to feel better about what they're doing. Now, think about how you'd feel after a conversation like this compared to, how many managers operate today. How would you feel about your leader in the company? How excited would you be about coming in tomorrow? A whole lot better, right, than the other conversation. Love to hear your thoughts on the difference between managers and leaders. So just leave them in the comment section below. And if you think this video might help one of your peers or friends, be sure to share it with them too. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, because I post team leader training videos and tips every week, and when a new video has been uploaded, you'll get notified. Thanks for watching, and catch you all next time.